Welcome back to another video. I appreciate you clicking on this one. Thank you for all the love and support on the other one. Since it did so good, I'm doing one similar. Here are 5 things that are super nice and overpowered to know in Bedrock Minecraft. Number 1. Late hits with your mace. Now, the best thing to do with your mace is late hits. They do the most damage, simply hitting them as late as humanly possible before actually hitting them. Like that second one was a perfect example. That one too. Once your hitbox is like halfway in theirs, that is when you should swing. That'll do the most damage. Works the same too with the lights you're macing. Like that, hitting right before you hit the ground, like hitting their feet pretty much, is the best way to deal the most damage. You can do up to 6 hearts of damage if they don't have resistance from only 1 block if you just late hit. Like that. One of the best examples of a late hit is actually while you're falling under someone. So when charging, let me get in here. When charge up and hitting your opponent as you're falling past them, like this. Oh my gosh, why am I landing on the freaking dirt, bruh? Boom. Late hits as you're falling behind someone. You can kind of be under them and still mace and does so much damage. Some things might take a little practice with late hitting, but honestly, if you just tell yourself to hit as late as possible, you'll do more damage anyway, and it's just a subconscious way to do more damage than everyone else. Dos bros tacos! Correctly sword spamming. There are so many things that actually go into sword spamming, believe it or not, but the best thing that you need to know is that there really is no CPS limit on how fast you can do damage to someone. But if there's 2 people sword critting, depending on what server you're playing on, it has to decide who gets the hit. So spamming fast works, but what works best is doing micro movements, micro jitters with your joystick, or if you're on mobile, you can even do circles. And if you're on keyboard and mouse, just WASD a lot, side to side while you're spamming. And it'll seem like people have reach, but they don't. You're going to have to trust me on it and try it, but doing micro movements, I can't spam armor stands, it's really annoying, but micro movements while sword spamming is the best way to do calculated hits and get the most hits. Also, what's really OP is if while you're sword critting, to look at their head hit and then their feet and go like this. This is very good. It also gives you more registered hits. And jumping at the same time obviously gives you crits. And Bedrock works different. If you fall from literally like half of a slab, it's enough to do a crit. So it's still OP to crit and everything like that. But you also just want the most hits. That's why jitter movements and like slight movements are the best way to get more sword crits. So micro movements are very good, but the most OP, instead of focusing so much on jumping and getting crits, which it does work, it's very overpowered, but works just as good as spamming sprint and then going backwards while you're critting, or spamming, I mean. So you'll be going forwards and backwards like this, and what this does is it'll count you as a sprint crit, which does more damage, and since you're going backwards, your backwards hit will hit because you're moving as a micro movement, and then it just repeats itself, and you can just literally destroy anything. 3. Now, number 3 here is not really a skill, it's just knowledge that you need to know. Every piece of netherite has knockback resistance. Knockback resistance is nice if you're critting someone else, that's for sure, because you can crit more, but what it does is it makes your wind charge is almost completely unusable. Because if you have full netherite and you try to wind charge, you'll notice that you go literally not even half as high. Like this right here is garbs. I mean, with a late hit, you can still do a lot of damage repeatedly. This is the only thing that netherite has going for it, is how fast you can hit someone. But essentially, it's not going to do enough damage at first to win you a fight. So you can decide what your favorite playstyle is. In my opinion, diamond armor is just better, because with diamond armor, you go so much higher, and it's so much easier to reset yourself after hitting on an elytra mace with diamond armor on. Here are some cons, though, of wearing diamond armor. A lot of people like to run knockback 1. I do myself against netherite players, but if they have knockback 1 and you're being sword spammed, you're probably going to get set flying pretty far, and it's really frustrating. So a lot of times I'll carry 2 kits on me. I'll carry netherite and diamond on me, and just switch accordingly to what I think is more appropriate. But a lot of the times I just like to stick to diamond. It's better to get good with, because like I said, just wind charging with diamond on and wind bursting, like if you have strength 2 and wind burst 3, every time I'm hitting this armor stand would be a totem pop. Like it's just disgusting. So take that knowledge with what you want, but I recommend running diamond armor. Faux. I don't really know what this is called, but this is so overpowered with crystals that you need to learn it. If you are on the same Y level and you want to do a lot of damage with just placing obsidian, the best way to do damage is either do circles or stay on the edge and go back and forth with your joystick. It's the fastest way to blow crystals up, because while you're being knocked back, you're only taking a little bit of damage because you're standing far away, and you're actually able to place them faster. So if you get it just right, you want your crosshair sitting on the face, like the top of the block. So even if you're standing super far away, you can still crystal without having to move your crosshair at all. And that right there is really nice to know. It's simple and it's easy, but you can simply either hit someone up or just wind charge them and then just crystal them. I don't really have the hotbar for that because I would need wind charges or my sword like right next to my crystals. But another thing that's really good to know is if you are 2 blocks below it, spamming is just simply way faster. I don't know why, it just is. At least it's just easier for me to spam that way faster, you know. But that's it for crystals, really. Crystals are pretty simple, so it's nice to place them fast, but the best way to defend yourself if someone's elytra macing is right as they're coming down, place Obby, and you literally just spam it like this, and 90% of the time they're just gonna die, because on Bedrock, if you blow a crystal up with your elytra on above it, not only do you take insane amounts of damage, but you get flown back up, and then you can pretty much just combo them in the air with crystals, and then they're just gonna die. So try that out the next time that you're fighting someone. The Fifth Amendment. Totems. Totems are so overpowered in Bedrock, you don't even understand. Not only do they prevent you from dying once like they should, they do a thing called ghosting. Pretty much the way Bedrock works is there's client side and there's server side. Client side is what you see on your screen, this totem in my hotbar right here. Server side is what the server thinks is in your inventory. 99.9% of the time this is accurate. You know, I mean, you might notice a little lag, like hot swap lag between your items or ghost items. But what this means is if you're low HP, right, and you need to make a push, what you can do is if you have a totem in your hotbar and you know you're about to die, you can switch to it, and within the same period of you switching to it, quickly switch to obsidian crystal. You can hit knowing that you're gonna die, but in your hands there's no totem, but the totem effect will still go off. I know it's hard to follow, but the totem effect will still go off, therefore protecting you, and you can still have another a couple more seconds to make a push if it's the last little bit of damage you need to do to your opponent to get them to die. Another huge tip about totems is if you're on Switch, for sure, I know, if you have a totem anywhere in your inventory, literally anywhere, it'll go off when you die. Like when your hearts hit 0, it'll go off. It's kind of OP. I don't know if that works the same way on mobile. I would imagine it does, because mobile is just a disadvantage. If you're trying to PvP on mobile, I'm just sorry. Last but not least, if you guys lock in, and if this video gets 1,000 likes, yes, 1,000. I know my videos are dog water. It probably won't ever happen, but if it gets 1,000 likes, I will turn my private PvP world into a realm that is public to the open, and everyone can join. Everyone can practice and play whenever you want, however you want, with infinite loot. It's simple. All of these just refresh. You get infinite loot, infinite totems, and we just fight down there pretty much. And if it's a realm, I'll be able to reset the server all the time for lag purposes or for reasons of it just turning into straight rubble. But if that interests you and you want to actually PvP with Bedrock players, please be sure to leave a like on the video and to subscribe. Appreciate the love from the last video. Let's get 1,000 likes, boys, in Bedrock PvP. I'm out of here.